Hello, Void. How are you? Phoebe Rizzo back again. Only got through 2 reviews yesterday, and I watched 2 movies today, so we're at a net gain and nothing. And 1 last night, so I'm actually down 1 more from where I was yesterday. But I kind of figured that was going to be happening with me being on vacation and watching a lot more movies. I did actually watch another movie tonight, but it was one I had already reviewed, so it makes my life a little easier. But, now, I mentioned in my review sometime last week of Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell that it was my choice between that movie and maybe doing Q the Winged Serpent. And I said I probably should have done Q. Well, I watched Q the Winged Serpent. And I did like it better than Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell. But I can't say it was a great film. It was fun, sure. Cheesy as hell. But it had its problems. Okay. So, Q the Winged Serpent. It's part cop procedural as a series of murders mimicking Aztec sacrifice are cropping up all over the city. And then a mysterious series of disappearances. Mostly people on rooftops going, well, missing. And there's been reports of a strange flying... occasional reports of a strange flying thing. Well, enter our main character, and he's kind of one of the main issues I have with it. He's I can't remember his name, but he's essentially down on his luck and is getting involved with a heist. And he's the driver. Well, the heist goes bad and ends up running out on the guys. They made him go in. He didn't want to go in. He ends up running in. He loses the loot and in his panic hides, but in doing so, finds Q's nest. The monster that has been now suddenly preying on people. Well, after his gang members try to rough him up, he leads them up there and essentially feeds them to Q. But then he decides to, despite being arrested, sit on the information, try to get a deal out of it, and try to milk the city for all it's worth, despite people dying. And this is the area I kind of have a problem with the guy. He's kind of our lead, and he's an ass. He is not likable, and it kind of starts setting up for like a redemption arc that just never happens. So it was yeah, that was hard to get past. The cop characters are fine and work pretty well, but he's just, you feel a little bad for him, sure, but he does nothing to really endear you. Some props. The design for Q itself is fine, and I like the stop-motion effects that are done for it. It works in pretty well and makes for a fun, campy monster. I also like the fact that they're throwing an Aztec monster at us, which you don't see in most movies. Q is essentially Quetzalcoatl. The Quetzalcoatl? I'm bad at Aztec pronunciation. But essentially the winged serpent of their legends. And pretty much it's essentially been prayed back into existence through sacrifice, and now it's essentially growing the more people it consumes and is laying an egg. And effectively it's the rebirth of their god. Well, and then that's pretty much trying to figure out how to deal with the giant monster. So, yeah. So a lot of that is working for me. It's mostly just, I can even forgive the cheesy dialoguing, because in this movie, a movie like this, that's what you'll want. It adds something. But but the fact that we're following, I think, the wrong character was what really, if we'd maybe followed the cops a little bit more and tried to pin this guy down, then it could have worked. But, I mean, even his girlfriend is yelling at him that people are dying just because he's holding out this information, and he just acts so damn smug about it. And even when he gets stiffed on the bill, you don't feel sorry for him at that point. And pretty much he's just left losing near everything, and he deserves it. So, he gets some comeuppance, but I don't know. The movie itself is still enjoyable, especially if you like some 80s cheese. It's a fun ride, but I would have given it a 5 if I didn't have that issue, so I'll give it 4 MacGuffins, but it's still definitely worth seeing. It has one of those box art posters that I remember seeing in video stores, so as soon as I saw the poster for this, it just flashed those memories back up of I know I'd seen it. It sticks in your memory. The movie itself is still pretty good. It'll probably stick there for a while, but I'm reviewing the Godzilla films. I'm a fan of giant monster flicks, so this one was definitely entertaining, and it was kind of in a period between Godzilla eras, so it kind of worked as a stopgap in there, I think, as an early 80s one. But yeah, so cue the Winged Serpent. Give it a watch if you haven't seen it. Alright, that's all for this one. I'll hopefully get a few done tonight because I'm so far behind. See ya.